You prefer the magic of Fantasyland or the futuristic feel of Tomorrowland? Today we're debating one of the top lands at each Disney park.
I just think that they overpromised and underdelivered a little on it.
I can't help but have a smile on my face.
It's quality over quantity.
But feel like it's missing something special. Like they almost tried to play it too safe.
Welcome to the Enchanted Ears podcast,
where we discuss anything and everything Disney.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Joe, and on today's episode, we are discussing which is the best land at each park down in Walt Disney World.
This was not nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, really? Like you pretty easily picked the best land.
There is one that I think was a little shaky.
Interesting. I'm surprised. Like I think I was surprised with some of my picks.
Were you?
I think it's a little bit more difficult than people think. I'm surprised you thought it was so easy. I'm interested to see like what your picks were.
Me too. Maybe I'll change them while we're talking. That's happened before.
Yeah. We'll start with Animal Kingdom here. So the lands in Animal Kingdom are Discovery Island, what's left of Dino Land for a few months here. So I don't think that one's going to win. Pandora, Africa, and Asia. So I'm interested to hear what you picked, because at the beginning you said like this was pretty easy for you in selecting what the best land is in each theme park. So what did you pick? I hope it's not Dino Land, because there's one attraction there right now. So what did you pick as the best land in Animal Kingdom?
So now, hilariously, as we are speaking, I was joking earlier, I'm actually reconsidering my choice.
Okay, well, what was your original pick?
So my thought was that Pandora was my favorite. And
okay.
I do think that Pandora is beautiful.
I think that's what most people would say.
Yeah, I think Pandora is beautiful, but I do feel like as Pandora has been around, I feel like it is showing a little bit of its age. Like I feel like the fake plants and things aren't looking as bright. I think that the ride, like Flight of Passage, which is one of my favorite rides, like last couple times I've ridden it, I felt like the screen just felt a little off. Like it needs a refresh. It just needs a little bit of help. And then I think it would probably skyrocket back. I do think that like maybe let me think. Let me think.
I think part of the problem with Pandora is that land looks incredible at night, and they built it to look amazing at night, and the park closes
it's never
at dusk. Like it is never open anymore. It was for a little bit. They had it open after sunset because they even did like the nighttime safari, but now it basically closes at dusk every day. And so you never get to see it at night, which is the best version of that land.
Yeah, I agree. So it is a little bit, I think, hard for you to like see, I don't know, just like experience the fullness of Pandora. I think if it was Pandora when it opened, yes, like that's the best one.
So you're not picking Pandora anymore as the best land?
I don't think I'm going to pick
Okay, so
Pandora.
what are you picking now instead of Pandora?
All right, so since I'm doing an audible, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to look real quick just to make sure that this is my correct choice.
So I would agree with you. I think that most people would say Pandora is the best land in Animal Kingdom. I think, yeah, very easily you can get rid of Dino Land. Discovery Island being a land, there's really not a ton there. For me, I think like when you look at the best land in each theme park, you have to look at, one, just the theme that the land has. So like what's going on, what is the theme, kind of the decor. You have to look at the attractions, food options. Like you have to look at all that stuff. So again, Dino Land having one attraction isn't going to win any awards here. For me, the best land in Animal Kingdom is Africa.
Ooh, tell me more.
And so why I think this is there's multiple attractions. You have Festival of the Lion King. You have Kilimanjaro Safaris. Technically, Rafiki's Planet Watch is a part of Africa, according to the map. And then you have some animals. They have hippos and gorillas.
Wait, what? Animal Kingdom has animals?
No, but there's an animal path in Africa. Like Pandora doesn't have an animal path. So you have a lot of attractions. You have animals. You also have, it's themed around the Harambe market. And so the theming is on point. There's usually always some like live entertainment out there. But I think this land, because of everything it has, because of the safari, because of Rafiki's Planet Watches where they have kind of the veterinarians back there, Festival of the Lion King, because of the theming, because of the animal trail. I think it's the perfect encapsulation of what Animal Kingdom is. Like, within one land, you basically get the thesis statement of Animal Kingdom, of animals and conservation and, preservation and kind of the education.
A lot of shins there.
Yeah, and great theming all in one spot. Like Pandora, it's great. It's a great land. It's got 2 attractions in it. One's great. The other one's a boat ride. It's okay. But like, that's not Animal Kingdom. You could very easily put Pandora in Hollywood Studios. You could put it, in Magic Kingdom probably. And like, it's going to fit. So it's not quintessentially Animal Kingdom, where I feel like the Africa land is.
Yeah, what I changed my answer to was also, unfortunately, Africa.
Okay.
I like disagreeing with you, but I do think, like, you do have a live show with the Festival of the Lion King. I think that the Lion King and Simba should be your poster child for Animal Kingdom. I don't know why it isn't more of the poster child for Animal Kingdom. It's built right in. It should be Lion King and Zootopia, and like, get Baloo in there. Like, there's several animals, and I think that whenever Kite Tails was there,
Kite Tails was great.
Oh my gosh,
Kite Tails was great.
Well, there were some Lion King kites. There was a Baloo kite. Like,
yeah,
you gotta bring Kite Tails.
You could
back.
bring that back with Zootopia. That's a great way to add Zootopia in the parks. Zootopia Kite Tails. Nick and Judy. Now, I mean, Zootopia, they're getting their own show in the Tree of Life. We're going to get a meet and greet there now. Do a little show. Put them on some flotillas out there.
Yeah, you could definitely do that. I haven't seen a flotilla there in a while. I don't know if they do those anymore or not. I don't know.
I think they gave up on that lagoon there. Like, they have all that seating.
Yep. And then
it's just a waste. There's no show, no nothing. They did that one really random social media post where I forget who the celebrity was. Oh, I think it was Leah Michele from Glee. And they're like, hey, where did you get that popcorn from? And she's sitting in the lagoon. She's like, over there. And everybody's like, is something happening in that theater seating area? But I think it was just about popcorn. I don't know. Like, it makes no sense. Like, what is happening over there? Yeah. Bring back Kite Tails.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that you have the live show, you have the safari, which, again, like you said, it's like the thesis statement. You have a lot of animals, and they're like the ones that people want to see. You got elephants and gorillas, and just like a lot of the hippos, like a lot of the big animals you think of.
Oh, that's what
giraffe, zebra, like whenever you think.
I think that's the better trail of
yeah, I was kind of looking at the two. I think that the theming of Asia is better, actually, but I don't think that it has as much like allure to it. If it had a little bit more, like, because you have Everest over there, right?
Right.
And they also have the bird show.
Yeah, that's a knock against it right there.
But like they are close, and that also means that they have the sitar player. So
that's pretty good. That was pretty good.
Well, I might be convincing myself that Asia is actually the better of the two. You know what?
Do you just want to name all the lands?
I'm gonna name your favorite. You know what? Discovery Island. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
You gonna switch to Asia now?
No, there's more. There's more in Africa.
Okay, so final answer.
I think Africa. There's more in Africa.
All right. We'd love to hear from our listeners too. Like, let us know what your favorite lands in each park are. If you're watching us on YouTube, let us know in the comments. Or you can let us know on Instagram. We're at Enchanted Ears Podcast over there. Might even throw a poll up. So be sure to check that out over there. Let's move on to Hollywood Studios. So the lands at Hollywood Studios are Hollywood Boulevard, Echo Lake, Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story, and Sunset Boulevard. And I will admit, like, looking at these, like looking up what the actual lands are, like I was very familiar with the lands at Magic Kingdom because I think they're very well known, very well defined.
You said Echo Lake and I said, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, that's a land. I kind of assumed that was part of something else. But Echo Lake is basically Indiana Jones, and technically Star Tours are part of Echo Lake there.
So for me, the most immersive, best land that there is Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge has 2 banner attractions. I still think the Galaxy's Edge needs something. It does need something else a little bit. I think it maybe could use another ride, another attraction, maybe a a hotel themed around it, or even a dinner show that could be taking place at a location that is currently not being used very well. But
Well, they have space for a dinner show in the land.
yeah.
And
yeah.
they were planning a third attraction in there too, but no, continue.
Yeah, like, but just the theming, I mean, everyone's costume, like the cast member costumes in there are incredible. The just like the experience there, I think, is so immersive. Cast members have to like pretend like they don't know what things are, and like it's really like things outside of their land. And I just really like the immersiveness. I feel like there's more characters walking around and walking through there more consistently than any of the other lands and any of the other parks. And I just think it's really a cool space. I love the marketplace. What they created there was really unique and interesting. They have a great water bottle filler there. Extra
true.
points.
That is true.
So yeah, just overall, I think that Galaxy's Edge is the most well done of them. I think that yes, again, there's room, and whenever they opened it, they were planning on doing more, but still, what exists is the best in the park.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about, as you were talking, it reminded me the lightsaber building experience. I kind of forgot that they had that within the land as kind of an added experience. I will say that is something you have to pay for, so that isn't something you can just experience as part of the land, which is a little bit of a knock on it. I agree with you. I think Galaxy's Edge is great. I just think it's missing something, though. It is a very monochromatic palette and color tone. The market is okay. It's an interesting kind of setup, a way to kind of sell product. I think now they are starting to like actually put Galaxy's Edge merchandise within it, though, which now kind of breaks some of the continuity of it, that like, hey, this was supposed to be all like handmade stuff and now it's not. I feel like it's missing something, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like they missed something on it. I kind of feel the same way about, I know we're not talking about Disneyland, but like Avengers Campus. Like these two new land, like the two most recent lands that they built are great lands, and in theory they're great properties and they should be amazing in places you want to go to, but like you just can't help but feel like it's missing something special. Like they almost tried to play it too safe.
Well,
it's maybe what it is. It's maybe like they tried like, hey, we know Star Wars has a very strong fan base, and so we want to make sure it's things we know they like. So we're going to put the Millennium Falcon in there. We're going to kind of make it look like Tatooine, even though it's not really Tatooine, but like they didn't want to fully commit to it's going to be Tatooine, and we're going to make, the cantina that it's like, I feel like to a certain extent they maybe tried to play it a little bit safe, and so it just kind of came out in the middle, as opposed to being, because it isn't horrible, but I feel like it's not like, oh wow, amazing either.
I just think that they overpromised and underdelivered a little on it, because the initial like looks at the land were a lot more, and those things that they initially like said that they were going to offer, I think a lot of those ended up on the Star Cruiser, but then now since the Star Cruiser is gone, it just just don't exist.
Back. Yeah, I think Sunset Boulevard is another strong contender for best land in Hollywood Studios, because that is that's well themed. It's kind of old school Hollywood, which kind of ties into the, again, Hollywood Studios theme. You have Tower of Terror, which is kind of a perfect icon at the end of that street and kind of ties in well. I think what hurts Sunset Boulevard and why it's not the best land is because you have Rock and Roller Coaster, and then you have, it was Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. Now it's the Villain Show. That has nothing to do with like old school Hollywood. Like it's not on theme. It's not on brand at all. There's not really any sort of like themed eateries there either. There's some shopping and everything. So it's a cool land, but it just is not completely tied in on theme. For me, I'm going Toy Story Land as the best land in Hollywood Studios.
That's shocking.
And my reasons for Toy Story Land are, one, there's 3 attractions in it versus 2 in Galaxy's Edge. So you have Slinky Dog Dash, which I love. You have Toy Story Mania, and you have Alien Swirling Saucers. You also have a sit-down restaurant in Rodeo Roundup Barbecue, which Galaxy's Edge does not have any sit-down restaurants. They're all quick serve there. They were supposed to, again, there's space for a dinner show, but they don't have it. Plus you do have a quick serve in Toy Story Land as well with Woody's Lunchbox. So you kind of have more options for food. And I feel like, for me, what puts it over the top is it is so incredibly well themed. You very quickly realize I'm a toy in here. I'm in Andy's backyard, seeing Slinky Dog kind of flying through. Whether you like that ride or not, I know that's not your favorite ride.
Well, yeah, but that has no consequence. It is a cool visual.
Yeah, it's an amazing visual. You have the Green Army Men kind of walking through there doing a show. Everything is just so incredibly well themed.
Well, and it is interesting because there is a contrast because Toy Story Land is so colorful, and then you walk right over to Galaxy's Edge, and a lot of that color has been sapped away.
And that's my point. That's 100% my point. It is so vibrant and so alive. In the way that Galaxy's Edge is so monochromatic, it's the opposite of that. And I can't help but have a smile on my face walking through Toy Story Land, because typically you walk through it a lot to get to Galaxy's Edge or to other parts of the park, and you just can't help but have a smile on your face because there's so much. It's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more condensed. There's so much just energy going on because you have Toy Story characters out, you have Slinky Dog flying around.
They also have like big statues in there.
Yeah, there's something about it. There's so
cool,
well done.
Alien statues. There's cool Buzz Lightyear statues. The Slinky Dog. It is interesting. I feel when you start talking about it, and I know it's very well themed, but it kind of took me back when you started talking about Toy Story Land to the first time we went to Toy Story Land after it opened up. And I remember being just absolutely in awe of the scale of it, the light bulbs above your head that are huge, and just the way that it makes you, it plays with that perspective and makes you feel like a toy. How interested I was in waiting in line for Toy Story Mania and just all of the different things that they put in the queue, game things and toy, there's different things that toys that you play
Dog. With. It's the whole queue is basically the box and everything for the roller coaster for Slinky Dog
with crayon that a child wrote on. It is very. It does sell you.
Andy's footprint is in the concrete. You can't see it usually because there's so many people in there, but they have a giant, a 2-scale Andy's footprint.
I don't know that I've ever noticed that.
Yeah, you can't really see it because there's usually so many people in the park. But yeah, in the way that I feel like I like Galaxy's Edge, but when I walk in there, I feel like something's missing. When you walk in Toy Story Land, you don't feel like anything's missing. You feel like this is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot going on here. There's multiple attractions, places to eat. It just feels like this is what this park is.
Yeah, I still think Galaxy's Edge is better, but I see your point. I see your point on that, and I think that it's so pretty. And I do like the swirling saucers, and I love the aliens. The aliens are my favorite.
Yeah, it's a fun little ride.
It's very interesting. Toy Story, I wouldn't rank it as one of my highest, my biggest loves, but I just have this weird thing for the aliens, and I don't know what it is. I think it's because I love animals, and there's no.
They're kind of
they're I don't know, they're cute, little animals, even more so than Rex, and Rex is technically an animal, or Ham.
Yeah.
But they're so silly, and there's so many of them, and they remind me of, what I think they are?
Minions.
I was just gonna say they're the original Minions. They minioned before the Minions minioned.
We were brainwaving there.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, it jumped into my head too at the same time.
Yeah, instead of banana, they go ooh,
Yeah, the claw.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah, they are really funny. But yeah, Alien Swirling Saucers, it's a fun little ride. Everything in there is a lot of fun. So, all right, jumping to EPCOT, which, again, Disney did this a few years ago, and you kind of forget, but they've split the front of EPCOT up into 3 different lands. So you have World Showcase. Obviously, everybody knows that's all the countries. But then at the front, you have World Discovery, which is Guardians in Mission Space, World Nature, which is the land and sea pavilions, and Moana, the Journey of Water. And this is where like they are, drawing lines. You wonder when you look at a map sometimes.
I was
like,
just gonna say it's
how
just
do they-
arbitrary lines.
Yeah, how do they define this?
I mean, there's no bodies of water creating the lines.
Yeah.
But
So you would think, okay,
maybe there is.
You would think like, all right, Guardians of Mission Space, that's kind of the left side of the park. That makes sense. You would think the right side of the park, the seas, the land pavilion, Figment, would be one land. No. It stops at the land pavilion, and that's World Nature. World Celebration includes Spaceship Earth, and then kind of like loops in Figment. And then even though Moana, the Journey of Water, is kind of in the middle, it is over kind of by like the land pavilion too. But it's kind of like right behind Spaceship Earth. They cut that out and put that in World Nature. So they are kind of drawing some crazy lines here to make it World Nature, World Celebration, World Discovery, and then World Showcase. I think they should have just kept the whole front of the park one land, because then that would be the best land. Because that has all the rides, that has places to eat. I think that's the best. I think the fact that they...
More so than the World Showcase?
I think so. Yeah.
More places to eat.
Well...
You're showing
places.
your lack of love of food here.
I didn't say more places to eat. I said it has places to eat.
It has them.
I think that would have been the best land, because it would have attractions. It would have places to eat. It would encompass kind of like EPCOT in there. But I think the fact that they break this all up and they just have these like really strange boundaries, I think kind of hurts all these individual lands. I will say the other thing over at World Discovery is Space 220. Does anybody go there anymore? Like, I feel like when it opened, super popular, super hyped. It was hard to get a reservation in there. I feel like nobody ever talks about that anymore. Like, I kind of almost forgot that Space 220 existed. We went there one time. It was pretty good. I think they've changed the menu. It's maybe worth going back again. But I don't know that I've heard people really talk about it anymore.
I need to go back again to ask them if I can buy a set of their silverware.
Do they even have the same silverware?
I hope they do.
Yeah.
If they ever get rid of the silverware and you work there, please let me know. I would like to buy it secondhand.
I think the problem with it, I think we said this too when we went, you don't know it's there. It's basically in the entrance of Mission Space.
Oh, yeah.
Is like the way to get to Space 220. So you have to know Space 220 exists in order to even see it. Like you would never just kind of go over there, because I don't feel like a lot of people aren't riding Mission Space either. I guess you have Test Track over there. Maybe you could kind of see that a little bit. So I think I'm going to go with World Showcase as the best land, because, I love living with the land. I think that's a great attraction, but I can't pick World Nature as the best land. I love Spaceship Earth, but I'm not picking World Celebration as the best land. I think the fact that you have World Showcase, that's going to be your closest complete land to this is, again, kind of in the same way I feel like Africa was the kind of perfect definition of Animal Kingdom. I think World Showcase is your best definition of what EPCOT is, kind of the unity across countries. You have all the countries you can go to. You have a lot of restaurants. You have a few attractions with Remy, with Frozen. You also have the Lagoon, which has a great nighttime fireworks show there. So I think if you're looking at EPCOT, because they broke up the whole front of the park, the best land's World Showcase.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Before all the countries existed, what existed?
What existed?
Mm-hmm.
Like in EPCOT?
No, I'm just talking about in general.
The world?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened? What existed?
The world, I guess?
Yeah, but what was there on that land before, like the buildings that people know, like the Eiffel Tower and things like that? What was there?
I don't know.
Nature. Nature was there. And you know why? Because world nature is the best.
World
nature is the best.
Okay, I want to see what is your argument for world nature being the best.
It's the most bulletproof argument.
That's the land and sea
okay,
pavilion.
No,
and
I'm
Moana.
about to name it all. Okay, Journey of Water with Moana, which I think is the most vibrant section of the park. Also, we went to see this when it wasn't that hot out. I would love to revisit it one of these times that we go and it's very ridiculously hot, because I think I would enjoy it a lot more. This is also Soarin', Living with the Land, Seas with Nemo and Friends, Turtle Talk with Crush. If you've ever been on the internet, you know that Turtle Talk with Crush is actually a hidden gem over there.
That's pretty good.
At
Yeah,
Epcot.
that's a good attraction.
There's a lot of funny things said over there.
Yeah.
And there's also, like the aquariums in that area. So you have a lot of really great things. You also have sunshine seasons. This is also where we have a character meal over at Garden Grill. So
you do make a lot of valid points. There's a lot there.
There's a lot there for a very small land. World Showcase, like looking at the map, it takes up a lot of space
but
with a lot of things.
You're going to take that.
But that is
over all of the countries.
It's, you know what? It's quality over quantity.
Okay.
Now, again, I'm not really taking into account like the shows.
Now, let me ask you
could
this.
probably make the argument that World Showcase, there are shows and live performers and things like that.
Exactly.
You probably could make that argument. I didn't really consider that, so I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist.
Well, I was going to ask you, if World Nature was taken out of Epcot, would that prevent you, like, would you be like, oh, I'm not going to go to Epcot anymore? I would argue probably not. And I love Living with the Land. So that is, I think, the one.
You are blaspheming your favorite ride.
That's the one ride. If you got rid of the seas, if you got rid of Moana Journey of Water, even if you got rid of Garden Grill, that's fine. I do want to keep the land. But for this argument, I would say, I don't think the rest of it is going to impact you that much. If you got rid of all of World Showcase, that's half the park.
Listen, you're going for the logical argument.
That's half the park.
You're going for the logical
Epcot
argument.
becomes like a half-day park then.
You're going for the logical argument. I'm going for this is the one little segment of the park. It just packs a punch. It's very good.
It does pack a punch.
It packs a punch. It's
not
very
the best,
good.
though.
I also think that we got part of World Nature.
You can't remove a land.
Nature is part of the world.
You can't remove a land and still have a park and it be the best land.
What? Yeah.
So
yes.
I think you can't remove World Showcase. I think you could remove World Nature if you have to.
But see, but Living with the Land the animals, the land and the animals are also a part of this beautiful world that we live in, and that is their country. That is the best country.
We could arbitrarily draw a new line for a world celebration that includes just the land pavilion, and then get rid of the rest of the stuff in World Nature. Then we'd be fine. All I gotta keep is Living with the Land. The rest of it can go.
Sure.
Interestingly, you picked that. I think it's World Showcase though. All right, let's wrap this up with Magic Kingdom. So Magic Kingdom has Adventureland, Liberty Square, Fantasyland, Frontierland, and Tomorrowland.
This one was the one that was hard for me.
Okay.
So I think I have the sentimental favorite. And then probably the logical answer.
Okay.
So my logical answer here is Fantasyland. If you look at the map, Fantasyland has
the biggest. It has the most attractions.
Huge section. It is like Small World, Peter Pan, PhilharMagic, Enchanted Tales with Belle, which we've talked about as an incredible character meet and greet. Mm-hmm. Little Mermaid, Ariel's Grotto, the Carousel, which whatever. Winnie the Pooh, Tea Party, Dumbo, Barnstormer. I mean, not sideshow with the character meet and greet, the railroad, and Casey Jr.'s.
Just because it's the biggest doesn't mean it's the best, though.
I know we just talked about this over at Epcot. Yeah, but there's also a lot of dining there too, which this is another thing that I kind of pulled out of there, and it has my favorite place, Gaston's Tavern, because you got to go to get the creme brulee croissant over there. But there's also Friar's Nook and like Storybrooke treats. So logically to me, I'm like, there is a lot to do there and a lot of rides that are like your big draws. Yeah. And the castle is really kind of part of Fantasyland.
You're right. It has the most attractions. There is a lot to do. It is the biggest. But I would argue that the biggest doesn't equal the best. So, I did not have Fantasyland as my top land.
You probably picked Adventureland. But this is what kind of surprised me. I actually think, though, what I would almost normally consider the worst land is maybe the best, because it's the best attractions.
So are you picking Fantasyland or not?
No. I just want to. I don't know. I'm
confused.
I might convince myself out of. But I think that my sentimental favorite land though might be Tomorrowland, because looking at it, you got Space Mountain.
You have Carousel of Progress. I knew you turn around.
Nope. Nope.
I knew you'd come around for it.
You got Carousel of Progress, and Tron is over there too.
Yeah.
And then like Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. I love that ride because
Yep.
it's like a basically just like Toy Story Mania.
You have Laugh Floor over there.
You have Laugh
Astro
Floor.
Orbiter.
So like you got Cosmic Rays for something to eat. So like there's a lot of great things. I don't think the theming in Tomorrowland is great. And so I think this is maybe why I have to lean back to Fantasyland, because there's some good things. Like it's very hard. There's a lot spread around Magic Kingdom. Like there's a lot of things. Like obviously, like my favorite, like one of my favorite rides is Haunted Mansion. That's part of, what is it? Part of Liberty Square.
Liberty Square, yeah.
Yeah, like
Liberty Square is the smallest.
Weak.
Yeah,
it's so weak.
yeah.
You can't pick where Haunted Mansion is. And then Frontierland has some cool rides, but I'm also like, or like attractions. Like now, Country Bears is one of my new favorite things over at Walt Disney World, but I don't know that one has enough in it either.
Yeah. So are you going Fantasyland or are you going Tomorrowland? Which one are you settling on here?
I don't want to pick.
You have to pick one. Which is the best land, Fantasyland or Tomorrowland?
But I don't want to. All right, I'll pick Fantasyland.
Go Fantasyland. So yeah, I think the problem with Magic Kingdom, and it's interesting, there's a lot of lands there, and we talked about they are very well defined. I think everybody's very familiar with them. But they're not super themed because it is very much the original park that was there. It was built before this like highly themed lands was an important piece to building theme parks. So like you mentioned Tomorrowland, like there's a lot of good attractions there, but the theming's kind of lacking. I would kind of make the same argument for Fantasyland. Yes, it's the biggest land in the park. It has a lot of attractions. It has a lot of places to eat. But there's not really like great theming there, and that kind of connects.
You don't think a giant castle is great theming?
That's basically the middle of the park. I don't really include that as part of.
I mean, I don't know.
Fantasyland.
Yeah, they don't have the castle listed as any
that's
part
the
of
middle.
any park. It's basically the center of the what is it? The hub?
Yeah, the hub. But it's like you have Winnie the Pooh and It's a Small World. Like there's not necessarily a lot of theming that really connects those together, other than the fact that the land is called Fantasyland, so, and you mentioned like Liberty Square again, that's the smallest. I think like your best actual themed lands, like in terms of theming, are Frontierland and Adventureland.
Yeah, I agree. Those are the ones that I thought of immediately.
Yeah.
But then when I looked at the list of some of the rides there, I'm like, oh, I love this ride, and that's about it. Like, so that's what made it difficult for me.
But I'm going Adventureland. Because I think Adventureland has great theming. It probably is the best themed land in terms of Magic Kingdom. One, because it has theming that is kind of consistent from attraction to attraction, but also because of the attractions that are in there fit the theming. So again, in the fact of like, okay, how does It's a Small World fit in kind of the same theming as Barnstormer? You got a whole like circus in the back of Fantasyland. Jungle Cruise, Tiki Room, Pirates of the Caribbean, those are all attractions in there, and their theming all very much ties together with adventure, with the theming of the land. So the tie-in with attractions and theming is a plus there. Those are 3 great attractions. Those are 3 opening day attractions there. Love Tiki Room. Jungle Cruise is okay. Love Pirates. You also have to figure that's where you can get Dole Whip, which is a great snack. The new Beacon Barrel Lounge is over there now.
That's true. We haven't been there yet, but we've heard.
Plus you have Skipper Canteen, which is a sit-down restaurant. And we've talked a lot about this. Magic Kingdom is lacking good places to eat. Most of the places you get there are quick serve, chicken tenders, hamburgers. Skipper Canteen is a really good option.
We need to
for
go
some different
back
stuff
there because the last time we went, I thought that the experience was great and my food was bad. So I would love to go back and see if I could have the experience and the food.
The food, yeah. But I think that's a good option. I mean, from what I've heard and from what you've kind of seen on the reviews, like Be Our Guest has kind of fallen off a little bit, which was a really good dining option. So again, like Fantasyland doesn't have as much. I think Adventureland is kind of the complete package in terms of theming, attractions, places to eat. So I'm going to Adventureland number one land. I do think, though, in a few years, because, again, all of these lands I don't feel like are super strong in any way. I think Villains Land
is going to blow them all away.
I mean, I think
Cars Land, yeah.
I think Cars is going to technically be part of Frontierland, though.
Oh, that's
because
right.
It's going to
they're building it into the theme.
Yeah, it's going to be themed in there. So I think that's going to elevate Frontierland. But I think Villains Land, I think they're going to do it right. And I think that's going to be so immersive and so well themed. And again, it's not fair because like fantasy, like most of these lands were built when the park opened. So it's not like they were building that sort of theming, you know, back when Magic Kingdom opened. So the fact that it's a completely new land and they can build it super well themed, I think that's going to quickly jump to the top. But for the time being, Adventureland's the best land in Magic Kingdom.
You know what would be really interesting with Villains Land? You know how, like, I mean, they'd have to build it this way, but you know how Magic Kingdom's on the second floor? What if they sealed off, like they built a second floor, but instead of having cast members go down there, you descended into the second floor as if you were descending down into, like, not, it doesn't
I don't think they're going to do that in Villains Land, though. Because there's no utilidors under where they're building.
Yeah, well, so they could add it.
They're not going to. They're not paying money to dig down. Well, they didn't dig down. I mean, they built it up. They dug out the lagoon, Seven Seas Lagoon, and put all that dirt to make the second floor. So they're not doing that with Villains Land. It's going to be right there. So
I know, but it would just be cool if you're like descending down into like where Hades lives or something.
Real quick, out of the 4 lands you picked, what's the best land out of the 4 of them? I'm going Toy Story Land. I think that's, out of the 4 I picked, again, there's just something about it. The energy is awesome, brings a smile to my face. I'm going Toy Story Land.
I think it's probably gonna have to be Galaxy's Edge, because I think it's so immersive and cool and different.
It is. I mean, Hollywood Studios, those are 2 great lands. I feel like the other parks,
yep,
there's like a
dominant
good land.
one.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom, maybe.
We didn't agree, but
yeah,
I
maybe with Pandora, like Pandora and Africa, I think Animal Kingdom might be the other one where Animal Kingdom is pretty consistently themed and pretty solid around the board. But like, yeah, Magic Kingdom.
I think Magic Kingdom, just everything is so spread out that like, yeah, it makes it very difficult to pick a specific place.
Yeah.
Or like the theming, like I said, Tomorrowland I actually think has really great attractions, but it's just the theming there is actually so weak and the buildings are so ugly that it's like you're basically walking between warehouses when you walk in.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just, it is not a place that you want to go. You have to walk a good bit to get to the attractions. Like it's not a pretty land. Like it needs a serious overhaul.
Yeah, it needs a facelift.
But
So yeah, Hollywood Studios, 2 best lands, all at Disney World. So love to hear from our listeners. Let us know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know in the comments. You can let us know on Instagram. We're at Enchanted Ears Podcast over there. But that wraps up the show for this week. I want to thank everybody again for listening. If you've not done so, please leave us a rating or a review. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. It really helps, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks for lending us your ears.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you here next Monday.
Bye-bye.